Alright guys, we're live from the Brojo for another episode of Fictional Fight Club.
Ooh.
I am Kian, and I'm here today with...
Eli.
Yeah,
Can't come up with any nicknames today, Eli.
I mean, I'm still disappointed, I guess. I can just use that one. Still the lack of energy. I'm still disappointed.
No, that's great.
Now I'm sad.
Because his one game that he was looking
'cause that
forward
game's
to
a
is now a Battle Royale.
Alrighty.
Ruined it.
Alrighty,
Rat bastards.
right.
Zach.
Oh, and hey, look, it's Gil.
I'm Jay for
Oh,
no
for
particular
God's
damn
sakes.
reason.
Fuck you, Jay.
Jay,
I was waiting for Jay.
when Jay does that introduction, I just picture him like just backflipping out of something and just be like, and I'm here.
Snapping
I'm
his
stripper
neck.
jumping out of the cake, but I'm not
Okay, maybe
stripping
not that.
because
Oh,
that's
boy.
just a ruin.
No, Jay.
Yeah,
I don't have any cash on me, Jay.
Yeah, sorry.
yeah. Don't. I wouldn't strip anyway. I just eat the giant.
That's good to
cake.
know, Jay. It's good to know you keep two more.
I just like stick my head out of the cake and like, I'm a giant cake now.
Did you just have the candle on your head? or
Thanks, Hale, for
something?
telling me this is your favorite podcast.
When he hears this, he'll probably be like, what the fuck? But he'll still be laughing.
Anyway,
Thanks for Hale for telling me this is your favorite podcast, because we actually get into talking about in-depth stuff. You're great.
I'm sorry.
We're going pretty in depth on this cake.
This is
please.
what
Yeah, no,
happens
really.
when I join.
Exactly what angle would you say you jump out of the cake?
Oh, shut the
I
fuck
would
up.
imagine he'd come out
A
at the top like
67
everyone
degree
else.
angle.
I thought it'd just be like a straight 180.
Right
That's
to the
not-
ceiling.
Yeah, I have like boosters on my
Isn't that
feet.
180?
Like, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd jump
No,
out,
it's like a
smash
90
his heads, and just crumple back in
No,
the
it's
cake.
180
Depends
is...
what the starting
Jesus
angle
It
is.
wouldn't be
I thought-
180 like your full, like...
Yeah, 180 would be he does a fucking flip.
Yeah, 180 is
Just goes right
this.
back.
It'd be
90 a 90-degree angle
Okay,
would be up here.
okay,
yeah,
fine. A
it's
90
like,
degree angle.
like
I just
technically
pictured,
you're going up, so it's like a 90-degree
Depends
angle.
what we're using as a point of reference.
I just pictured he'd be
Yeah, but if
crouched
you're
down
saying
and
you're
then
doing a
hop up.
180, like the one, like 360 is an entire circle. So 180, if you're shooting at a 180
Depends
degree,
what angle we're going from. Like what angle?
I
what
honestly-
fucking angle? Like
the angle of the
like if you're
vertical
the
axis,
vertical,
y
he's
axis.
talking about the vertical fucking axis of the cake to go up straight.
See, we go.
We really did go
That's
in depth
not
with this
a
shit.
fucking 180 up.
Okay, I thought he'd just be crouched down and just.
180 would be
not
like if
sitting
you
down.
started from this end, flipped and like
Why would
rolled
he be
into the
starting
cake.
at this
That's
end?
the fucking point. You can't do a 180 thing in a cake.
He could if he started on his hands.
Oh, for God
Did a
fucking sake.
handstand.
I hope you saved this.
Yeah, I fucking did.
Alright.
Okay. Anyway, what's the fight?
Tom the
Versus-
cat versus fucking Sylvester.
Who won overall in the user
Tom.
polls?
We don't.
Tomcat.
Yeah, we don't go into that yet
This is a-
until we.
I'm sorry.
Tom from Tom and Jerry. Tomcat is apparently his
Yeah,
name.
Tomcat is apparently his name.
Yeah.
Which I looked that up because I was like, Tom from Tom and Jerry. And it's like, Tomcat is this? And I was like, really?
Yep.
Fuck me, I didn't see that coming.
So like he was
Tomcat?
created. Well,
It's a top cat.
No, he was created by MGM Studios for the good old. He was supposed to be an antithesis to Looney Tunes, as like they had.
Oh, yeah, they started trying to beat Looney Tunes and then they just did,
Yeah.
which was
So
amazing.
like he was. They were technically kind of supposed to be like the anti. Tweety and Sylvester in that way, as like Sylvester the cat was. They're both very similar, as they both have a sheer goal of getting a small creature, but failing very miserably continuously.
Sylvester the cat does catches occasionally.
Yeah, but she always gets. He always.
Tweety's a dude.
Yeah, I know. I just realized that. Tweety always gets out of it, like by kicking through his teeth and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know, but like,
I mean, the same could be said for Tom, then. 'Cause
Yeah.
He catches Jerry on multiple occasions.
And then Jerry just.
yeah,
Has some
except Jerry
kind-
has a real fucking problem with just pulling mallets out of his ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like smuggling that shit
Where is he keeping those? Like,
in his
Well,
ass.
okay.
Pocket
so-
dimension asshole, I
Okay.
don't know.
So
is that like a
from
ninth
It's
level
a-
spell?
Narnia is in his asshole.
so no what like the wiki like when you talk about fights they have something called the Toon Zone as the Toon Force, as a legit thing, which allows them to like bend reality and physics to it's a reality warping technique that that allows to like, yo, this guy can like create like out of his mind, out of this weird ass mind bubble. It's like Mallet. And shit like that.
One of my favorites is that there's a fucking Wile E. Coyote, because Wile E. Coyote is just full of Toon Force shit.
He is.
Roadrunner is full of Toon Force.
No, I know, that's
like Wile E.
I mean
Coyote
the cartoon.
is, yeah.
But yeah, there's one where like Roadrunner runs through a fucking like cave in a rock, and then Wile E. Coyote goes to run through it, and he fucking hits it like it's a rock wall.
Because
And it's just like, what the fuck?
No, Coyote painted it, and Roadrunner runs through it.
Oh yeah,
Through it.
yeah, you're right, yeah.
And then he fucking hits it. It's just like, what the fuck?
He's wondering, or he'll look, and a semi will just come and hit him.
Yeah.
So
That's
like,
fantastic.
they both have Toon Force. It's just the amount of Toon Force each one of them has is probably the deciding factor on this.
So, question, like...
Because Tom looks a lot more durable from a lot of the other feats that I've seen. Whereas, like, Sylvester has taken on, like, dynamite to the face and shit like that. Tom has been, like, dismembered and then re-put back.
Cut off
How do
his
you
fucking
measure
tail
the
and
Toon
shit.
Force stuff? Like, serious question, how do you measure, like...
That's a good question,
the
Jay.
Toon Force of, like, you know...
Okay, so, basically, you gotta, like... It's kind of like... The measurements of, like, Toon Force things, and this is just, like, how I did it, like... Because in physics, I actually did, like, how much strength it would take for the Roadrunner to bend the road. And it's an ungodly amount. And my teacher's like, dude, I'm just going to give you an A because you, like, spent so much time doing this. I was like, yeah. That's what you kind of really have to do, like...
Apply yourself to your projects, kids.
Like, a force of dynamite, that's where, like, a force of dynamite is... I cannot remember because I haven't been in physics forever. But it's, like, this amount of newtons. Like, force that hits you. So, like, when you look at it and you compare and contrast, like, Tom being struck by lightning and Sylvester being hit by dynamite, those are not equivalent in the end run because, like, dynamite is not as lethal. An explosion by dynamite is not as lethal as being shocked by lightning.
Yeah, I just kind of eyeball it.
I mean, technically, Tom's been blown up by dynamite as well. Not
I know,
dynamite.
it's just, it's using...
That's the thing, a lot of the things they've done are actually, like, both of them have done it.
Right.
But, like, the amount of times one is taken, said abuse is also another thing.
Yeah.
Plus, it also relies on the skill that, like, Tom's character later on ended up just becoming backdrop parodies of, like, Robin Hood and things like that, so he technically would have the skills of archery and fencing under his wheelhouse of, like, things he is able to do, whereas Sylvester has literally just stayed a Toon Cat besides Space Jam, so I added he has sick hoop skills.
Does he does anything? Does he do anything in that movie? I don't remember him being in there.
He does. He makes one basket, but like Sylvester has sick ass hoop
I was
skills.
gonna say, unless this is a basketball competition and Sylvester just dunks over Tom each time.
But Sylvester, that's the thing. Sylvester doesn't have very many like physical like. Tom, you can tell because like Tom was in like the Three Musketeers cartoons and things like that. They did parodies of those, which shows that he's a valuable fencer. He's able to handle his own in a sword fight and things like that. Where Sylvester literally has just gotten his ass kicked by Tweety and a bulldog.
Well, that's the other
No,
thing.
he's also got his ass kicked by the little granny lady too. I thought.
Yeah, there's like just a hand variety of things like where Sylvester just always gets his ass kicked.
I was gonna bring that up though. Like Tom does also. There's a dog in that one. I don't fucking remember its
Spike.
name.
Yeah.
Spike.
He also does get owned
Right.
by the human owners too.
Yeah.
I do want to bring in one realistic factor, though. The last episode of Tom and Jerry, like the original one of Tom and Jerry, had him dying to a train.
Didn't him
Committed
and
suicide.
Jerry both?
They
do
both
that?
committed suicide by train.
But then they made a movie, so I feel like they didn't die. And they brought the show back like 40 fucking times.
Yeah, but that's how the.
I didn't realize how recently they brought the show back.
Yeah, dude, they brought it back in like 2011.
They brought it back like 7 different times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was the most recent.
Actually, the most recent was I think like 15?
Oh, I have no idea.
I thought
The
it was
last time I
12.
remember was 2011 because like my friend Haley was just obsessed with it when we were in college, and she would like watch it. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Also, they both can die. They both have been shown to go to either heaven or hell on multiple occasions.
Yeah, that's the point. They and
And
technically
escape and come back.
and technically speaking, they both have 9 lives.
Oh, boo.
I think-
No, it's
I think they've
it's legit.
exceeded their 9
It's legit
lives.
canonically that like Tom, there was a scene,
there was, I know.
this cartoon where Tom has 9 lives that he has to use sparingly. So like, that counts as part of the lore for Tom at least, that he has 9 lives, so he doesn't technically die.
So what's Sylvester's excuse?
I mean, so I think Sylvester's just died. I don't think he technically has 9 lives. I know Tom does from the cartoons that I was like watching. Like he made it like the devil's like, yo, dude, you only have like 8 lives left. Don't fuck this up. Where like unfortunately, he's more like he's got like a lot of 1-ups, and like Sylvester just has 1. So like.
So
Plus, Sylvester doesn't shapeshift like Tom does. Like, Tom does a lot more shapeshifting than Sylvester does. Sylvester basically, honestly, relies more on, like, his surroundings than anything else. That's the thing, like...
Yeah, I was gonna say, I actually feel like Tom is more adaptive and probably even more intelligent.
Where, like,
Sylvester?
Sylvester is, like, the MacGyver equivalent, where he just sees shit, and he's like, oh, man, I can hide in this armor and stuff like
Well,
this.
there's that, but I feel like Jerry is just a harder opponent than Tweety. Because
Yeah,
Sylvester catches Tweety, but then Tweety usually uses the sort of cartoon shit, whereas
Oh no, not a putty twat.
I fucking hate you. Whereas Jerry usually outsmarts Tom. Tom can still catch him occasionally, which is just
And
impressive.
then Jerry every once in a while has like his was that Gray Mouse, his little smaller Gray Mouse, his nephew wants him out to help him. If you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Tom
I
sometimes
do.
still
I
has
don't know
that group
what
of
he's
cats too.
He does, but like.
And then you could say, like, Jerry has his, like, fucking gangster uncle that kicks the shit out of
yeah.
his cats.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that episode.
Oh jeez.
Oh, yeah. He sang a song constantly and he'd
Yeah.
stutter.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, like...
It's like all you could see of him was his beard.
Yeah. So,
So
like,
he
that's...
was a gangster, wasn't he? Like a cowboy or something?
Yeah.
I
think so.
also-
He has a
Yeah.
cowboy one, but he does have,
Yeah.
like, a gangster one who wears, like, a bowler hat and a yellow
Okay.
sweater.
Ah,
And,
I don't
like,
remember that one.
they use... The Tom and Jerry meme that's been used is, like, that from that scene where, like, the 2 cats are coming in and they'll always, like, switch them with
Oh,
different...
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. So, like, yeah, we bring memes up in here in Fictional Fight Club. But, like, no. Like, you do kind of have to look at, like, there is physics involved in their world, and it's, like, really not our worldly physics, but there are physics involved. Like, they're obviously durable as shit, because each of them can be hit by an anvil and still stand up from an attack.
Just a bump on the head.
So, like, it is a matter of, like, who's smarter by the end of it. Where, like, I feel like Tom isn't as, like, smart as Sylvester. I feel like Tom just has the circumstance that he is able to, like, survive a lot more. Whereas, like, there's some, like, because Sylvester does get stuff from Acme and shit like that. So he's able to, like, make pit traps and stuff like that.
You'd think that would make him fucking dumb as shit. He buys from Acme. It always fails.
Not always. They just
Fucking
don't
always.
work correctly, and then he
Not
wants it.
always my ass.
Tom just builds his own things. He doesn't go to a
Yeah, he
company.
just
Yeah.
produces shit out
He's
of
built
nowhere.
a plane. A functioning plane.
And boats.
No, you got a point there. Like,
Who?
you just,
Oh,
Tom.
God.
He has, yeah, you're right.
He's done boats, planes. I'm pretty sure he's done some sort of vehicular device
Was
on
there
the
like
road.
a tank at some point too?
I
Yeah.
remember
Probably.
he's ridden in a tank, like, when they were in World War II. Like, they've done a lot of weird things with
He
Tom.
legitimately MacGyvers his own stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think Tom is as sneaky as Sylvester, though. I think Sylvester has that, like, he's capable of catching Tweety off guard, whereas I don't think
That's
Tom...
why
But
I
he
said I
can't
think
get the
Jerry.
job done.
That's why I think Jerry is a harder opponent.
because like Jerry isn't always like Tom is always trying to get Jerry off guard, but never does. So like I understand that like maybe Tweety is not the ideal reference to why Sylvester is sneaky, but that does have to like kind of bring into the fact that he kind of has that like sneak style.
I mean, Tom's done it a lot to Jerry too. He's caught him off guard on plenty of occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he'll just be eating something, turn around, see Tom, go back to eating, do a double take and see that it's Tom, and then freak out, and then he's caught.
Well, because more of the times, like,
And that's exactly what happens to Tweety too, but Tweety's always in the fucking cage
right.
when he catches him.
Because, like, Tom has tried to catch Jerry off guard in his own house, and Jerry was able to just take mallet to his fucking fingers right away. Like, that's where I stand.
Exactly, so I think Jerry's a way harder opponent. Tweety's not just producing shit out of nowhere most of the time.
I was going to say, Tweety's...
I feel like he's probably done it.
Tweety's
I
has
can't think of
produced
any
a few
examples.
things. Tweety could, like, randomly just produce dynamite out of his birdhouse once. I'm like, how?
That seems about right.
Like, that's the thing. Like, this is one of the first times. This is the
Need
reason
more
why I want...
regulations on birds getting weapons.
This is the reason why I wanted to talk about this fight, because we haven't done anyone that has the pocket universe effect,
Oh, God.
where like just random shit just pops out because it does.
Keen wanted us to suffer.
And so I spent time just watching MGM cartoons and Looney Tune cartoons, just like seeing like, all right, so did they make this? Tom just randomly has a mallet. Okay, that's a thing. He can just randomly
Axes.
summon hammers, axes, things. Sylvester has never summoned a weapon. He's always had to find it around. So, like, that's my other thing where, okay, so what if does this mean that there's just random shit around? Maybe. But who knows? Like, if Tom accidentally drops the hammer, can Sylvester use it? Yeah, that could definitely be a thing. And Tom has been known for, like, falling for hijinks, though, that Jerry has done, such as, like, distractionary measures and shit like
So
that.
Sylvester.
I don't think he has. I think, not like, because Sylvester and Tweety's has always just been, like, their hijinks. They've never had to do, like, Sylvester has, what's the word? Has, tricked Tweety with, like, a female bird companion as his finger.
Hasn't
Or a
Tom
worm?
done the same thing?
But Jerry,
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think Tweety's ever done the exact opposite to Sylvester.
I don't think he has. All he's done is basically say, you know, pudding pie. And
Like, he's tried to eat, like, yeah, I don't think he's ever done that. And the only reason Sylvester never wins is because by the end of it, the Granny comes in and just
beat him with
beats
the
ass.
umbrella. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
so it's not even Tweety that defeats him, it's somebody else.
Yeah, it's always somebody
As
else.
far as I
I'm
remember.
really reinforcing my argument that Tweety and Jerry are just like
Two different.
like Tweety is
scales.
like easy mode.
Actually,
And
hold
Jerry's
on.
just
I gotta
like
remember if
fucking-
Jerry's
before I
legendary.
say this. Before I say that, I gotta make sure I'm right on this because I'm just remembering an old, not Disney, Looney Tunes cartoon. See if I am right about this, because if I'm right, then that means Sylvester has magic.
Magic. Oh my god.
That's right, Sylvester has magic because he's worked with Vanity the Witch, and like
I mean, Tom's worked with a wizard.
has he really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tom and Jerry and the Magic.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
And
They
then the ring
count.
was stuck on Jerry's head. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had to rub it.
He's also worked for witches too,
Mm-hmm.
so he has legitimate magic.
Okay, so they're both magic users apparently. Damn.
Tom might have more experience though,
He does.
because wizards and witches.
Oh shit. Wizards and witches.
He's got
Got
that
'em
whole
all.
Hogwarts schooling.
Where's that warlock?
next he
He's
just
got
needs
the
a
Holy
magician.
Trinity. Wizard, witches, and warlocks. The 3 W's.
Oh my.
No, that's just like. This is a really weird fight.
I don't know. I just say it's Tom's. That's my personal.
I
view.
just feel like Tom's done a lot more shit
Right.
because he not been around longer.
Not only can he build his own contraptions, he can.
No, go Zach. Keep
Yeah, keep saying.
Tell us your thoughts.
Talk with your
He
words.
can not only build his own contraptions, but he's also more advanced in the technique of magic than Sylvester.
But like,
you can't really prove that, but
my thing is like
he's
they
got
don't
the
like
pocket universe.
they
though.
don't have the. It's just like the idea that like that is in their arsenal. I don't think they're gonna be their go-to thing. Zach is that they're
I
gonna
feel like
use
fucking pulling axes out of his ass is his go-to thing.
Yeah.
Mallets and shit.
mallets.
That's
and
what
shit.
you see in like every fucking episode. So
Maybe that's how he does it.
that's definite.
Magic.
I mean, but he did that before he met the wizards and witches.
We don't know.
I
We don't
guess.
know
I mean,
what
we don't
chron-
know the timeline yet.
What the canonical order they're supposed to be in.
I guess.
We can do
Tune
that.
physics.
Especially because they both time travel.
Oh God.
I am still gonna go with Tomcat being the victor in this by the end of it because of the fact he has. It's just the like. I could argue the pocket universe being able to handle that because Sylvester's been able to handle that with Tweety and other characters he's had to face because Sylvester has also fought Bugs Bunny once. And he has Toon Force up the butthole with shit he does. Whereas it's just the fact that Tom has been a musketeer and is a like expert swordsman. It just gives him that edge is that he's more of a jack of all trades than Sylvester was.
I mean, yeah.
Alright,
I guess
how-
if we're bringing in all their incarnations, then yeah, especially.
So how are we gonna vote now?
Yeah, sure.
Who
Are we
says
all
Tom?
unanimous for Tom?
I say Tom. Like,
He's
and we
fucking
give a
everybody.
reason. Yeah, but
It's
you
Tom.
like I gave my reason why I chose
You
it.
guys raised your
Screw
hands.
you.
It's like we have no video. They
Yeah,
won't
that's
know
like
shit.
that's why like why we started. It's like we
Gil
always
and
talk.
Zach raised their
We always
hands
talk
for
about
Tom.
our fucking reasoning of why we choose someone, because then like
Because Tom is clearly superior to Sylvester.
He is.
His opponent is more skilled, and he still manages to catch him on occasion. Just
I
like
do
Sylvester.
think fucking magic.
I do think the fact that he goes up against
Apparently
Jerry
that's not being used.
is a lot of it.
Motherfuckers.
it's not being used. It's just not like their go-to thing is not using magic.
Yeah, it's not like something they do in every episode. That's why
They're not-
I say the pocket universe where he just produces various tools definitely is go-to. Does it literally every episode. Find me an episode where they don't find some random fucking violent ass tool to kill each other with. Doesn't happen. It probably does. Probably like the musketeer ones and shit.
All right, yeah. So now we have the time to open up the next fight,
Hold on.
and
What did the community
the
say?
community said 60% goes with Tomcat, 40% went with Sylvester. Community is on our side today, guys.
Yeah.
10 points for Gryffindor.
Boy.
So,
Are we keeping score of the points for Gryffindor? Because I feel like Gryffindor has too many points.
no, I'm not
Nerd.
paying attention
What?
for that. So
Harry
then we
Potter
go.
sucks.
Then we go
Shut your
into.
fucking whore mouth.
All right, how
Okay.
about
Throw down.
I don't want to fight.
Playground at 3:15.
7 o'clock because 3:15's for losers.
Christ.
A.M.
7
bitch.
o'clock.
Sauron versus Palpatine? I'm kidding. No, I'm
No.
joking.
Palpatine
Palpatine
rips holes in the time and space.
versus. Let's see, who could Palpatine
Depends. Are we
fight?
taking
He
what's
rips
now
holes
canon?
in time and space.
Are we taking what's now canon or what was?
Saruman.
Would be canon.
Not Sauron, Saruman.
Palpatine would beat his ass. I ain't doing it.
Count
I already
Dooku
said I'm not fucking.
Versus Saruman.
I proposed that a long ass time ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's just because it's the same actor." I was like, "No, they're both stooges of a higher power.
They are.
They both get killed off
They do.
due to the lack of that higher power willing. They're
I-
both pretty powerful. They're both wizards."
Yes. they are both wizards.
Count Dooku is a fucking
I
wizard.
thought Toothless versus Charizard would be a weird fight.
No.
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 Well, is that Charizard and like his mega bullshit?
I want to see Saphira then from the Inheritance books fight than Toothless would be more.
No, because Toothless is the size of a fucking horse. He's not.
Brought down a giant dragon
He has.
in the second movie.
Those movies are really liberal with the term dragon.
Yeah.
But they're nice looking movies.
They're not.
Fuck off.
Po from Kung Fu Panda versus
Bruce Lee.
the ninja.
I
Master Splinter versus Shifu from Kung Fu Panda.
am down for this.
That'd be an interesting
That
fight.
would be. Master
Shifu
Shifu.
from Kung Fu Panda versus Master Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I am down for
I
that.
guess. Yeah.
What
Or
about
Po versus Splinter?
No.
Harry Potter versus...
No, because Poe is hard to judge because a lot of his is luck. We'll go with the
Have you
weird
not learned anything
fucking
from
raccoon
Deadpool 2?
koala. I don't know what he is.
He's a red panda.
He is
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't know that.
Do you have any other suggestions, Gil?
I got nothing.
What about Wizards versus Wizards? But not Eli's Wizards, because as much as I want that.
I try to keep
Steve from Next Door from
Fuck
ProQuest, the original series.
I try to keep wizards out of these fights because like we kind of encountered it with the Lich King and the Witch King.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
The magic is so hard to gauge.
And that the Witch King can fucking break blades, and it's like we go into the semantics of whether or not he can break magical swords or not.
Yeah, it was weird.
And we just decided that he
Yeah,
couldn't.
it's like very opinion based on whether you think he could or could not do some things with his magic.
Okay. Indiana Jones versus...
Star-Lord!
I
No.
Guy from Uncharted.
Star-Lord.
I was saying the guy from
Nathan
Uncharted.
Drake.
Guy from Uncharted and
Nathan Drake.
kick his ass.
Yeah, he has some machine guns.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was
It's
like,
like-
he uses modern weaponry and therefore wins the
If
fight.
you're gonna do that, you might as well do Lara Croft versus Nathan
They already
Drake.
did
Were
that.
we not doing the
Well, I mean,
fucking
that'll be in our back.
Black Jack versus the Jack Black?
Wait. No, let's see.
I still think Jango Fett versus Star Lord would be like an interesting fight.
Or
Yeah,
Boba
Boba
Fett.
Jango Fett.
I'd go with Boba. Boba has a lot. That's well, it's the old, it's the old, no longer
gets it.
canon
I said that. I said that a long time ago.
EU. But Boba Fett in before Disney cut it out was a badass in the books.
Damn, SG was
Except
ruining.
for the Sarlacc pit continuation.
He
Fell in twice.
Wasn't it 3 times?
Was it
I'm
3?
sure it was 3 times.
Fell in
No.
3 times.
And then like
Dengar saved.
But I think one of them
in the
wasn't
Bounty Hunter
in the
trilogy. He
actual
blew him.
thing.
He blew up the fucking Sarlacc, and Dengar basically found him laying out there and saved his ass. And it's all I can remember.
Yeah,
much.
that's my favorite part about the Sarlacc pit is it's still just out in the middle of a desert.
I don't know, but I think I go for Boba versus
Star-Lord.
Star Lord. They're both illustrious.
Oh my god! But then
Captain Nemo from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh fuck you.
No, not the movie. The
Comics?
The comics, because he has more depth, I think.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know where. I think I lost my graphic novel somewhere. I don't know where I put my graphic novel for that. I need to buy it
I'm
again.
fine.
Darkman versus Dick
I'm
Tracy.
fine with Splinter versus
Ooh.
Red Panda guy.
That would be good. Darkman was an interesting. Was that a modern movie or was it just a movie?
It was
It was
a
just a
movie
movie.
based on a comic.
I've
It
only seen the
wasn't-
movie.
It was just its own singular
Starring Liam
thing.
Neeson.
Yeah.
But
He was supposed to. He's a combination of like the Cloak from like the
I think
1960s.
you give him a shout out.
Liam Neeson.
No, there was a
and
Cloak
Taken
too. There was a
versus
Cloak.
John
there was-
Wick.
John Wick.
John Wick and Wick.
The John Wick
Liam
hands
Neeson
down.
and Taken.
Yeah, John Wick is fucking murder man.
He knows gun fucking
Liam
foo.
Neeson is Murder Man.
What about Spike Spiegel versus John Wick?
No.
Oh, gun foo.
John Wick.
John Wick would kick his ass.
Okay, you're right. And
He's
Spike
died.
Spiegel does get his ass.
Spike
kicked.
Spiegel's a guy who I watched just die, basically,
Yeah,
and you were
probably.
trying to pass him off as a gunslinger.
He was a gunslinger still.
He is.
Not
a
a
gunslinger.
fucking gunslinger.
Question: Did you guys put? Wait,
You
I'm
guys
just
think
recording.
anyone that can shoot
Yeah.
a pistol is a
We are.
gunslinger?
I'd go with Han Solo versus
Michael Townley
Spike
versus
Spiegel
John
then,
Marston.
because
Well, Han Solo shoots first. We just watched the movie, man.
Yeah, we did. Like the only thing that killed him was a lightsaber by his son.
all right, let's be fair
That wasn't
though.
gun related.
Yeah, it wasn't gun related. No
Chewie
one shot-
versus Bigfoot.
Chewie.
What?
Fuck you.
One's got a bowcaster. And the
John
other one
Marston
doesn't.
versus Michael
The other one
DeSanto.
just has a rock that can break legs.
I would like to see that one.
Versus who?
Michael DeSanto.
Without any Sam's Modern Guns just has like a
Who's Michael DeSanta?
he's the
GTA 5.
he's one of the protagonists.
It's
Is he the black one? Or
No, he's the
that's
one that
Franklin.
wants
he's
to be an
he's
actor.
the white, like.
He's the
The
rich
Italian
white guy.
yeah.
That's trying to get out of it, but he's back
Yeah.
in it. The family guy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, no, if they had like pistols
Versus who?
or like just like rifles, not like assault rifles.
Versus
John Marston versus Michael DeSanta. But
John
both
Marston.
decently.
Probably John Marston.
They both got.
Except for the fact
They
that
kind of got dead-eyed. Both of them kind of got dead.
Yeah, but he had. But
Michael DeSanta has like modern weaponry.
I said if you give him like
So
something
it's
like
more of
pistols.
a, if I think John Marston could actually shoot him before he could do
Well,
anything.
they both had the M1911. There's John Marston had the Colt 1911 and Red Dead. And it was center.
doesn't his Deadeye have more than one effect though?
Jedi just locked on and then you shot the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
What's a good duo? Because I want to use the Army of Two sometime. I just know who they'd fight.
Let's think who are some good, Ratchet and Clank. I don't know. I don't know much about them.
Yeah, the Army of Two, people with sub fucking machine guns versus Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank win.
Probably,
They have a disco gun.
They do some stupid
Disco
shit.
gun.
Like that's not even a joke. They have
That's
a
a
gun
real
that
thing.
forces their enemies to disco.
That's
So
pretty
not like,
cool.
Two
for
death
example, I'm not
rows.
saying we should use them like
The disco gun versus the
Arrow and
dubstep
Arsenal.
gun.
or
I mean, you could use them.
I don't know, but that I understand we not to use them.
Kane and Lynch.
That would be really
I've never played
Army of
Kane
Two
and Lynch.
versus
I've played
Kane and
Army of
Lynch.
Two,
Yeah.
but not Kane and
There
Lynch.
you go. There's your duos.
Okay. Do we want to do that, or do we want to do Shifu and Splinter?
good. I'm fine with either.
I think we should let fate decide.
Roll
You're
the
gonna-
D2.
I'm gonna go dice.
Because we also have. We
It's
also
just a
have.
coin. You just
Alright,
need a
'cause
coin.
we also just have like
Get a
some.
coin, man.
Oh my
You
god.
fuck.
Okay, we also have quick questions to answer.
Oh, Jesus.
Go
Someone-
ahead, do that while
Should
he's
have done the
getting his
questions
shit.
first.
Well, someone asked about like voiceover work and how.
Hold on a second, Jake.
Okay.
Just flip the coin first. Jay.
Tails for
So
kung fu
up
bitches.
down is tails, while the symbol is heads.
Okay.
Okay, well, tails is
Okay,
kung
Jesus
fu.
I thought
fucking
you were gonna
Christ,
catch
Jay,
that.
Yeah,
So
God
did
damn
I.
it.
Sorry
Up,
to the
down.
listeners.
That was heads. What was heads?
Oh, for God's sake.
Heads is
Hold on.
the duos.
Okay.
Okay.
Eli said
We'll
tails
do it
was
again.
the kung fu
Okay.
bitches.
Okay.
Kane and Lynch. No, we're doing it. Kane and Lynch versus the Army of Two.
Because Eli said,
Do the Army of Two have names that we know of?
not that I
No.
know of. There's
I'm
just
not
army of
looking
two.
them up.
Yeah, just search Army of Two. Like,
You just search Army of Two,
Okay.
and I'll search Kane and Lynch.
okay, fine. Army
No,
of
I
Two.
don't care. I'll do
So,
it.
somewhat,
I'll
we
do
do
it.
have a couple of like
Let's
just
do that, Jake.
VO
Yeah.
questions. Those are voiceover questions
Okay.
about like this stuff because we just released. What is?
Why does our audio sound like shit?
How do you
Because
find?
our microphone is garbage.
Great.
Fuck you, kid. No, what is it?
Because sometimes we eat during these things.
Zach.
It's not even about that. It's about the fucking top tens and what the facts. Good fucking Christ. I'm trying to fucking explain this.
Because
Y'all
we
just.
flipped a coin.
Come on.
Alright.
God damn it. Stupid shit and fucking answer some days. Jesus. Dude. So, one person legitimately asked, like, do you have a process before you do a voiceover thing or not?
Hope and pray that we don't screw up.
And that usually doesn't
mean-
work because I screw up a lot.
Well, I mean, we do run-throughs and we edit. Like,
Today was really bad though.
How long did it take you guys to
the
record?
run-throughs or the time that it took?
The edits. We need.
I fucking
I don't
sent
know.
you those 4 days.
Do you know what I? No, you sent them to me on Thursday.
Was it Thursday?
It was Thursday.
Alright, I still
I
sent
was
it to you.
helping John move. Then I had to work. Then I had to do other stuff yesterday.
Well, God
I'm sorry
damn it,
I'm
what
not
are you
free
doing at your job that's
24/7?
more important than the script?
No, I'm kidding. No, I was just saying, I do try to send you shit early enough for you to, like,
I didn't,
This
but
was
I could do
literally
it
2 days before.
I rewrite stuff on the fly pretty easy. I feel like I did a good job. I'm happy with what I did.
I'm glad. Zach, do you have anything you do before you prep yourself for a voiceover?
We run through it, but I still screw up.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
do
about it.
retakes and stuff.
Yeah. There was that one time I had to practice one paragraph because I kept falling into a ridiculous cadence that made me screw up on the same word.
And Gil's emphasis on white.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He
That
capitalized.
was what I
What is
wrote. He
this?
could have said whatever.
So
hell
when
he
the
wanted.
Punisher turns black,
went
Gil
white.
wrote like an exclamation point on the word white, and like Zach's
Because
like,
And I like
turned him
shouted
off.
it. That's basically what happened.
You told me that this was Zach's script. I figured that's how he would have said it, not
And
read
I like
it.
shouted it.
like he aggressively kept screaming white
And I was
every
like,
take.
whoa, this is gonna come off way wrong. So I was eventually like, we're cutting that,
Like
and
he
we're gonna go
aggressively
normal.
screamed white a lot.
To be
and it
fair, I
like-
was also on the high of Logic's Caterpillar remix, where he just shouts white too.
No, he's just basically trying to say he hates white people. But
No,
I
it's
see
not
how it
true.
is.
It's not true.
I'm the racist in this group. Get out of here.
another person was like, "How do you think of your top tens?" And it's a lot of
We just throw them out there until one sticks.
It's a lot of
That's not true.
No, we sit here and we actually like we'll talk about something on the podcast or something like that. It's always like it's either A, we're just having a random conversation, or we'll talk about something on the podcast, and then it'll hit us like, oh, this will make a good. This would be an interesting top 10, or this would be an interesting what the fact. That is how this stuff started coming around. Is because like we talk about a lot of interesting shit, and like sometimes like it just gets missed. So like this is the reason why.
Also, just base it on your own opinion. Whatever you want to do it.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of like, because like me and Kian, we were going through one top 10, and we kind of thought of another one we could do, and so we were like, I don't really think this character fits into this list so well,
we
but
can
he
do
could be
this
in this
list
list,
sometimes.
along
Is that
with a
your
couple
edge-
other people I can think of, so you get that going.
Is that your Edgelord countdown?
Huh?
Was that your countdown?
Well, I didn't want to ruin it, but yeah.
God damn it, Zach! We haven't
It
even
doesn't
fucking
matter.
wrote it. Ruining
the
shit
works.
before it
Doesn't
says
matter.
anything.
For our 6 viewers.
If anything,
It'll be
this
alright.
just gives
That's
them
the
a.
thing. Our top tens and what the facts get like more views. So,
Well,
like,
probably top
that's-
10
If
videos.
Probably.
anything,
on
this gives
YouTube.
them a sneak peek into
Yeah.
what we're going and do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
And
you
because
get-
these are like an hour long.
This is what you get
That
for
and
watching
you
the
ruin half of our
podcast.
content anyway. We're just talking randomly during one of the news segments, and then what the fact?
I don't care. Anyway,
Jerry, going
but
on
yeah,
with
so
that.
yeah. And then as we were doing the edgelords, we were just kind of like, man, some of these characters are more angry than edgy.
I do remember
Fucking
you guys
angry
saying
people.
that.
It's like they'd probably fit better on that list than this
No,
one.
Ryan
Some might
was a
cross
Ryan.
over. I mean, nothing bars someone from being on 2 lists. So,
And a DD, I'm back this year.
but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how I think of them anyway.
someone also asked like, I guess this is the people just who write it. It's like, what's your writing process? I guess.
Gil,
What's your writing process?
My writing process is I get the stuff in a decent amount of time and I write it.
I mean, we all
There
kind
it
of
really is no process to it. You just have to know what you're researching. Research what you actually need to know and then just write a basic script about it. You don't have to be exact because most of the reading of it is just you doing it how you want to, not how it's written on the script. The script is just an outline of information.
Right.
Because
Right, and that's the thing. Like we learned today when we were recording things. Gil got mad at, like, not mad, but he like called out my intro. I'm like, all right, fine. I was just trying to think of like shit you guys would say,
I called out your outro.
and I was just like, fine, fuck it, whatever. And
How
I
long
was
did
just like,
you guys record today?
about a solid 2 hours.
Really?
We
About an
weren't-
hour.
We weren't recording for that long. We were just in
Editing? Were you
We-
editing and then
there. We fucking
recording?
joked around for like a solid hour.
yeah,
At
and like
least.
and there we have a few outtakes for that one that I'm gonna put up, but with just like them talking about shit. But like there was just and it is because there's a lot of like what it says on the paper, even if it's written very well. It's like you have to find your cadence. Like everyone's writing style is 100% different from everyone. Like you will never have anything like
Yeah.
perfectly cadenced to what you, the writer, want them to say. Because there's like, man, this doesn't make sense or this doesn't work well.
try to think of who you're writing for, and then generally how they speak. That's what my thought process was when I did Zach's Punisher one. Was how would he talk? But instead, he just kind of read it however he wanted to.
Quick question. Did you write the X-Men one with
the
yourself
X-Men
in mind?
Yeah, that's what I told you. I wrote the X-Men one with myself in mind because that's what he told. That's who he told me I'd be writing for.
Because I don't think I'd ever actually go.
No, and those jokes were just placeholders. Those
You
were
do
just
now.
really bad.
Apparently
awful jokes.
so.
You do what we tell you to.
Now I go crap for the moon.
Well, and then that's another interesting. Someone asked about the what the facts. Is like, how do you find these what the facts? And like, my thing is, I'll be reading a fucking comic book or be watching some sort of fucking TV show, and realize that like, oh, this is actually very interesting. Let me read into this. And then you find just weird shit that like you put like, my thing is like, I'm gonna put this in the mental note. And it actually happens a lot when we're researching characters.
Yeah.
Is that like, I'm gonna put a mental note about this character doing some dumb shit like this.
Or it's just things that like you thought about in the past even, where it's just like things that don't really add up so much.
So it's
Or just weird things like, I knew the Punisher had been black in the 90s.
didn't
I don't know why. I never looked into it. That wasn't even my idea. I just knew it was a thing already. So
like that's I think that to me is the process that we have. And like another reason why, because someone asked like, why'd you start doing like the top 10s and what the facts, and like I think my one thing that I like realized is that like someone told me a while back, it's like, what do you if you want to do something creative, what do you want to do? I love doing these podcasts. I think it's fun. It's nice to hang out with you guys. It's a nice stress reliever with the long week and stuff. To hang out with friends and just talk around and just goof around. But I also like the fact that like we know a lot of weird ass shit that it's like super interesting to have like a time just to like, hey, let's do this. I send this, yo, could you write this one? And then that's what it is. I don't know about you guys, and but that's how I feel about kind of doing this and kind of doing the top 10s, because then it's just a lot of fun for me, because it's just like, all right, voice director is not something I've ever had on my resume, and the video editing is getting better as I keep going, but it's nice to like have those skills in my background for later things.
yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's more like our podcasts get kind of rambly.
Right.
At times, and they're very all over the place.
Right. So
I think
this one is a prime example.
I think
the cake.
Well, these are questions at least, but I think the top 10s and the what the facts and such are just more like focused and decisive on what they're gonna be.
right.
And also, we have a really good group for top 10s, because like I'm more into games, Keen's into anime, Gil's into the type of games I'm not, and anime. Zach's all over the fucking place.
I can adapt to whatever
and
you need.
John's really into games when he's here.
I can adapt to whatever you need.
Right, and see, like, that's why, like, someone asked me,
Fucking
like...
wild card.
Well, that's the thing, like, someone asked me, like, is Zach gonna be, like, the... doing
You guys
the...
firing Zach?
No. It's like, no,
Yeah,
is Zach
we
gonna
just
be
haven't
the
told
guy
him yet.
that he's using... And the answer is yes. And the reason
What?
why I chose Zach for, like, the voice for What the Fact is that, like, Zach doesn't really know shit. We literally have a YouTube video that is us quizzing Zach about what characters are.
Don't we have more than one at this point?
We have one on the podcast, but I kept, like, the one... There was just a video, like, the first time Zach never knew anything. You just placed the video on there.
Saruman was Dumbledore.
Yeah, you immediately went with Dumbledore for your first answer, and I'm just like, all right, this is how it goes.
You're just like, all right, this is going exactly as planned.
But that's kind of why I chose Zach to be the voice of What the Fact, because, like, the idea is, like, he doesn't really know a lot of this pop culture shit. Like, that's nothing me dogging, that's not us dogging on him.
No,
it's
it's
just,
true. I really don't.
he just
know a lot
really
of
doesn't.
Top culture
So to
shit.
have him be like, so there will be times where like Gil, me, or Eli will do research, and like we'll write the script for Zach to say, but it plays that idea that like Zach never knew this at all, so it's like, oh, he's learning this as he's talking about the script.
Him.
Right.
You guys are teaching me.
The reason I like top 10 was it's Gil and Eli is because they work really well together. They're very contrasting personalities. So that's what makes it fun.
We're both really deadpan at times.
Right, but that's what kind of makes it fun, though. Is that like
You're the energy of this group.
Gil can be goofier than you can.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I'm just gonna take a backseat on all of these, and I'm just gonna have you guys. You know what I mean? That sounds super shitty. I'm not like trying to be like, I'm not pinning it off of you guys. Like, you guys do this, you guys do this. I'm like, no, I will seriously.
If anything, it's worse for you. We just sit there and pick apart your writing.
No, it's 100%
Or
fine.
in my case, I fuck up on saying the lines too much.
Oh, okay. Going back to scripting that and writing and voice acting, we're not professionals by any means. This is us just goofing off and having fun. But also, when it comes to reading it, we mess up a lot, and that's just something that comes with any territory.
Someday we'll upload the bloopers.
You just go as many times as you feel confident until you feel that it's really something worth going for.
And that's like the one thing though, is that like the podcast, we don't fucking start over most of the time unless the intro is fucking weird.
Well, unless it gets really off topic
Right,
and
like,
tangenty.
right.
Again, the cake.
We don't fucking this is just fucking on. But like as like the writing, it takes time. Like
Yeah, I mean, like, even we come up with shit, like, as we're reading, like,
right.
Because I had the one where it was like, I read through it, and then it was like, oh man, this thing wasn't in there. Fuck it. Add it in, do
Right.
it again.
And like that's a lot of things. Like hopefully, like the intros are actually honestly more ad-libbed. I think it's more ad-libbed. So like that's the thing. Like it's just all depending on what you do. Like and they're the first couple of episodes that are coming out too. Like so we're just it's the getting the grasp of the idea of what you want. And I think that's what we're initially doing right now.
As far as scripts go, Keenan's been handling the top 10s, and I've just been revising them.
Right.
This time it didn't go over so well, but that's neither
Right.
here nor there.
Which is fine.
But for the What the Facts, I just pumped those out in like 3 hours. Both of them took 3 hours each. Zach gave me a
So that's
decent...
the script work as Zach does the research in other times.
Sometimes.
Zach gave me a decent enough amount of information for the Punisher, but I still went over and looked at what I could add, and with mine I just kept trying to find information on what I had, because legitimately for the X-Men one, it was 2 paragraphs on Wikipedia, and that's what I went with. And I managed to pump out a 3-page script.
Also, I'm very happy you found more on the Punisher stuff, because I felt like I left that very open for more.
It was, for what you had, it worked really well. That was the basis of the script. Also, with writing that script, I'm not a professional writer. I don't know if most people who do this stuff for a living would consider any of the scripts I've done good. I just did what I could. You don't have to be professional as long as you got a basic idea of what you want in the
As
video.
long as you don't
Especially
write,
now, since this is mostly for fun.
right. And that's the thing, like it's also it's a fun, informative thing that like I brought up to them before we were like, let's do this. I was like, hey, would you want to do this? This is like, I know that we talk about a lot of weird shit and a lot of interesting things pop up. So like, I feel like this is a fun outlet to do it. And like a lot of some of the What the Facts that I have coming up are actually from researching our top 10s, because there's just some weird shit.
Yeah.
So I guess that's been our podcast, unless anyone has any last words that they want to say about like...
Are there any more questions?
No, this is literally just about like the voiceover stuff that we do now and things like that. Like, because someone was interested, like Braden is always interested about anyone who does voice acting, so voiceovers. You know what I mean? It's not. We don't. There is there.
Something I thought about, because I hate the sound of my own voice.
Same.
It's a lot like doing a fucking high school project where you just have to do like record your voice saying the stuff and then putting pictures and stuff in front of it. Except unlike high school projects, I actually enjoy this.
Yeah. See, so there's
That
that.
was shitty.
Do what you love. Love
Right,
what you do.
and like there's also like, if anyone is wondering, there is still like Gil and I have talked about doing a series. It's still up there. We have documented video, like stuff like that. It's still in the air.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, and it's just the matter of time that we haven't had. to get into it.
Yeah, hopefully with summer coming up. we can-
Right, and I've been watching.
Summer's already here.
No, technically not. June 22nd isn't here yet.
Summer solstice,
Bitch.
Zach. Learn your
Okay.
seasons, motherfucker.
Fuck that. I just pay attention to spring and fall.
Thanks, guys, for listening. Have a good day.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
What do you guys